Top 10 tourist attractions in London. Attracting millions of visitors every year, London is the most visited city in Europe. It's no surprise that London is top of so many people's travel plans. The city was founded by the Romans and has thrived over the centuries. London can perhaps be called the most iconic city in the world. Needless to say, if you're planning a trip to this charming city, be it business or pleasure, you must not miss on these best places to visit in London, for without it, you will surely go back home with a trunk full of regrets. But we don't want that, do we? So here's a list of all the London main attractions that you should definitely indulge in on your London vacay. Take a look. Do not forget to add amazing attractions in your bucket of wonder from this list of places to visit in London. So, let's start. Number 1. Buckingham Palace and the Changing of the Guard. The official residence and administrative headquarters of the reigning monarch, Buckingham Palace is a major tourist attraction. It is located in the city of Westminster. Buckingham Palace is one of the most iconic buildings in the city of London, and it is extremely famous for the city's most popular display of circumstance, the Changing of the Guard. This ceremony takes place around 11:30 in the morning in every season, where one can witness procession marching along with music and orchestra. The palace was built in 1837 and has continued to be the residence of the royal family from the time of Queen Victoria. One way to know whether the Queen is in the palace or not is by looking at the flagpole at the top of the building. If the royal standard is flying, she is present there. On several special occasions, the Queen may also come to the central balcony. There are 19 rooms which are open to the visitors during August and September, during the time when the Queen makes her annual visit to Balmoral. Number 2. Big Ben and Parliament. The first thing that comes to your mind when you think about London is the Big Ben, and it truly is a legendary monument. This 97-meter tower housing a giant clock is known throughout the world as a time signal of BBC Radio. It is one of the greatest places to be in the world. This is amongst the best places in London. Below it, stretching along the Thames, are the Houses of Parliament, seat of Britain's government for many centuries and once the site of Royal Westminster Palace occupied by William the Conqueror. Tours of the Parliament buildings offer a unique chance to see real-time debates and lively political discussions. From Parliament Square, Whitehall is lined by so many government buildings that its name has become synonymous with the British government. Number 3. London Eye. A trip to London isn't complete without a visit to the iconic London Eye. Originally constructed to celebrate the millennium, the Eye is a giant ferry wheel offering gorgeous views across the city. At the night, the wheel is lit up in seasonal colors and is the centerpiece of London's annual New Year's fireworks display. You can share one of the spacious pods with other keen visitors or splurge on a private pod for you and someone special. Team your visit to the Eye with a trip to the adjacent London Aquarium to see aquatic creatures from around the world, including jellyfish, seahorses, and crocodiles. Number 4. Tower Bridge. Tower Bridge is a combined bascule and suspension bridge in London over the River Thames. It is close to the Tower of London, which gives it its name and has become an iconic symbol of London. Construction started in 1886 and took 8 years to build. The bridge consists of 2 towers which are tied together at the upper level by means of 2 horizontal walkways which are designed to withstand the forces of the suspended sections of the bridge. Number 5. National Gallery. Ranking among the top art museums in the world, London's National Gallery represents an almost complete survey of European painting from 2060 until 1920. The museum's greatest strengths are in its collections of Dutch masters and Italian schools of the 15th and 16th centuries. Among its highlights are a cartoon of the Madonna and Child of Leonardo da Vinci, Michelangelo's The Entombment, Botticelli's Venus and Mars, Van Gogh's Sunflowers, and the Water Lily Pond by Monet. Number 6. Westminster Abbey. Another location with a long association with British royalty, Westminster Abbey stands on a site that's been associated with Christianity since the early 7th century. Officially known as the Collegiate Church of St. Peter in Westminster, Westminster Abbey was founded by Edward the Confessor in 1065 as his place of interment. From his burial in 1066 until that of George II, almost 700 years later, most sovereigns were not only crowned here but were buried here too. More recently, it's become famous as the preferred location for royal weddings. Number 7. The British Museum. The British Museum comes under the finest places to visit the London, and rightly so. Far, it has more than 13 million artifacts ranging from ancient world to the modern times. The priceless objects are from all over the world and civilizations including Assyria, Babylonia, Europe, China and more. Most famous exhibits include controversial Elgin marbles from Parthenon, the colossal bust of Ramesses II, the Egyptian mummies and much more. Number 8. St. Paul's Cathedral. Built in the 17th century, St. Paul's Cathedral is one of the London's most famous and most recognizable sites. The cathedral was heroically saved by firefighters when it was bombed during the Second World War. Its impressive dome was inspired by St. Peter's Basilica in Rome and rises 118 meters to the cross at its summit. It was the tallest building in London from 1710 to 1962, and its dome is also among the highest in the world. Number 9. The Shard. Since it opened in 2012, the Shard has taken its place as one of the most recognizable and most visited landmarks in London. Standing 1,016 feet tall and encompassing some 95 stories, this remarkable structure, so named for its resemblance to a shard of glass, dominates the skyline, yet, thanks to its pleasing design, doesn't seem at all out of place when seen next to neighbors such as Tower Bridge. In addition to its office space on the lower levels, the Shard is home to a stunning Shangri-La hotel and 3 superb restaurants, all boasting some of the most incredible views over London. For those not staying here, the uppermost levels consist of a choice of viewing platforms, indoor and outdoor. Number 10. Madame Tussauds. London lifelike wax statues, often known as one of the most popular tourist attractions in London, Madame Tussauds is visited by millions of people every year and has attracted nearly 500,000 tourists since its first opening. Madame Tussauds London is in fact one of the many wax museums situated in several cities around the world. It is one of the chain of institutions named after the founder of the first such museum that was opened in London in the early 19th century. It is especially famous for some of the most lifelike replicas of celebrities from all over the globe. The museum has over 400 wax figures of some of the most famous people in the world, including musicians, actors, politicians, historical figures, scientists, geniuses, religious heads, and even criminals. So friends, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the content of this video, click the subscribe button so you can receive more content like this every week.